Hello, welcome to this update for the Western Pacific and some stuff for Asia. So let's see what's happening because we have many areas to watch for tropical cyclones, and two of these cyclones have already formed near the Philippines and not one near the southern islands of Japan. So here in this map we can see the ensembles from the European. There's this one near the Philippines now, and there's Tropical Storm Francisco that's heading northwest, might pass close to Taiwan and the southern islands of Japan. And there's another potential system to form near Guam, so they better watch the Mariana Islands too. So here there's Tropical Storm Francisco. It's not so organized, but a tropical storm there, and then it might head northwest, journey towards this southern islands of Japan, south of Amami and Oshima, like way south. It might eventually pass close to northern Taiwan later. Let's see if this makes it all the way to eastern China. But right now, if you are in this southern islands of Japan, you should prepare. So here, there's like some ensembles. There's the Navgen shows it kind of that same path. The GFS is showing around tropical storm strength, nothing too crazy, around that same path. But later, instead of going closer to Taiwan, it curves kind of north again, the GFS. And there's the Canadian, kind of spread on the ensembles too, but then it goes to the west, northwest, and then it kind of takes a curve north again. But if you are in those areas, you should watch closely. So please be careful. There's Tropical Cyclone 11, Tropical Depression 11, and it's right by the Philippines. You see, this is the island of Luzon here, and the cyclone's like just to your west coast with a lot of convection, heavy rain array. So the forecast is showing it curving right into Luzon and then going north and out to sea again. So please be aware in those areas because this like right at your doorstep with some heavy rain, potential flooding happening right now. So today's July 23rd, Wednesday, and this might affect you like until Thursday, Friday. So please be aware. Instead, there's some GFS ensembles showing it right near Luzon right now, and it's showing stronger, slightly stronger right now, potential to tropical storm strength before it makes landfall. So be careful, and then it goes out to sea later, slightly weaker. So be aware. Here for some models does show the Western Pacific. There's those two cyclones, Francisco and 11. So this goes, and there's the other low pressure already south of Guam, already trying to form. So this goes the GFS that takes Francisco towards the southern islands of Japan, but like slightly disorganized storm, nothing too crazy with it, but be careful, some heavy rain and gusty winds. Then it starts forming the storm near Guam. While this forms, there might be some very heavy rain right over you, so stay tuned, some watches and warnings there from the National Weather Service, and be careful in the Mariana Islands too. And there's Tropical Depression 11 near the Philippines. Just looking at this map, you can barely see it there. So if we go some hours before, we can see better. So before landfall, it shows like 983 on the GFS, 985 to 983. So this might make landfall as a moderate tropical storm. So make sure you are ready there in Luzon, the northern Philippines. Be careful, and be careful with flooding, some damaging winds and light storm surge too. Then this scrapes the Philippines and fades away, goes out to sea. So there is the storm near Guam. It might form and affect parts of the Mariana Islands as a tropical storm, but then it will go out to sea later and maybe linger close to some islands of Japan. but not to Japan itself. And then it goes later. The GFS does some crazy stuff, more than 300 hours out, but let's not trust that too much. So there's the European model too. It has now like tropical cyclone, tropical depression 11 near the Philippines and tropical storm Francisco there. So this shows like tropical storm 11 strengthens more like to 988, potentially stronger before landfall in the Philippines. This goes and like the remnants might go northeast later as it dissipates, and showing the storm forming near Guam. The low pressure will pass right over you with some heavy storms, and then the storm forms later might bring some tropical storm conditions to the Northern Mariana Islands and spots further north as well. This goes out to sea as a tropical storm. And the European model is even strengthening this further into a typhoon. So better watch this because it's not often that the European model shows these things. So here's the Canadian shows tropical depression 11 into the Philippines, shows the other one forming near Guam, and stay safe in those areas. There's here like the radar array shows many scared showers and storms in China, in Thailand, spots in the Philippines. So be careful, those heavy rains as usual. And here there's Tropical Depression 11. In my opinion, it's already rapidly strengthening to a tropical storm there. So be careful because let's check some rainfall. Shows like if I put around 5 days, shows some 400 millimeters, some spots in the Philippines 200, 100, just like 3 days. Alright, shows on the west coast some 100 to 200 in a few spots. So be careful in those areas on the western island as well, like central western Philippines. The Europeans even to 300. So please be careful in those areas. But as the storm passes right over Luzon, I maybe expect slightly higher rainfall amounts because the European doesn't actually make landfall, just lingers near the west coast. So what is showing like the greatest accumulation on the west coast is kind of right because the European doesn't really make landfall. The GFS kind of does, but it just scrapes the island. So the accumulation on the GFS, like especially on the seas on the west coast, to 200 millimeters, might be close to 300 in a few spots, 195, some 155 millimeters, and more even in Manila to like 133. So stay safe, more spots in the western Philippines. So be careful with flooding and stay safe. Please be careful. In 5 days, already shows more than 300. So stay safe. There's the icon. It only shows on the west coast more than 200 to 300. Further inland, the icon is very little. So it shows like some 100 more spots on the west coast, 154. So stay safe, especially if you are on the west coast. If this storm passes right by you, be careful. Some damaging winds, like some light storm surge and some flooding, especially flooding. So there's the axis. You know we can exaggerate a little bit, but this time I think it's more accurate. It's like in the next 5 days, close to 200 millimeters some spots. Central Luzon is further south, even to 400 on the axis, and some areas central Philippines is even to like 500. So you never know. Please be careful those storms, and if you are over Southeast Asia, same thing. Be careful in Cambodia, Laos, these flooding rains, especially across Laos, Thailand, and more spots in northern Cambodia to 200. So most models are indicating a surge of moisture right over southern Laos, there into Cambodia, right over the same region. So stay safe. in those areas. Please be careful. There's Myanmar as well. Next 5 days shows to 300 millimeters, southern Bangladesh, most of Bangladesh, so more than 100 millimeters across Myanmar, like 200 to 300, spots like 325, central Myanmar, and northern Myanmar. Be careful, especially northeastern India, near the Himalayas, some landslides can be dangerous. So stay safe in those areas. And like most of Southeast Asia, we'll talk about India itself in a second. So now, for one, very quick, this other cyclone shows already to like next 5 days, 100 millimeter spots of Guam, another spot to the island, even to like 131 and even more. So please be careful. San Jose and other islands, the Northern Mariana Islands, even to like 174, like 148. So stay safe in those areas. Please be careful as it strengthens further north. Might be close to 200. I don't see anything in these islands here, but in case you are there, please be careful, especially some flooding possible across Guam in the other islands. So the GFS is kind of radical, shows like even to 400 millimeters in Guam. And if this happens, make sure to please stay safe. The icon's giving you a sunny day with just 32 millimeters, while the GFS is drenching you. So these are two different scenarios. I think the European is right in the middle. Not too much, not too little, but in case it's more than this, please be careful with flooding and stay safe. Be careful, some damaging winds as this forms as well. Some rough surf and some rip currents. So be careful, especially some higher gusts for further north you go, like near San Jose and other spots, as this becomes a tropical storm, potential typhoon, because down the road it's even showing like 138 km/h there in the ocean. So this goes and Ogasawara in Japan might wanna watch this closely too. And with all these disturbances and cyclones, slightly more windier seas near the South China Sea. Be careful with salesmen and everything. So Bay of Bengal, same thing. And the Arabian Seas is very windy as well. So be careful. This fluctuates, of course, but it's generally windy in those areas and near near southern India and the Western Ghats and more spots too. So be careful. There's like now in India shows spots in central India, still showing some torrential rains, a few spots central to eastern India, especially down the east coast. The Bay of Bengal shows some very dangerous rainfall throughout central India, some 400 millimeters, 441, some 300. So please stay safe. On the west coast, it's also showing some 160, some 200, because the monsoon on the Langstrip Islands shows a lot of storms. So stay safe in southwestern Sri Lanka, that that area there near southwestern Sri Lanka. And always be careful in the Maldives with passing storms, because I always see some watches and warnings for gusty winds there with those storms. So be aware. And the Seychelles is looking like slightly more showers and storms too, but nothing too crazy. So be aware, there's just this huge area in the Western Pacific with accumulation higher than 100 millimeters from all those cyclones. Like they have joined together both areas. Interesting. But now for Japan, does show those southern islands around Naha, those areas to like 71 millimeters, 75. So Tropical Storm Francisco won't bring too crazy of a rainfall threat, but it will bring some sporadic heavy rain while it's there. But the general accumulation is not showing too much. It's showing more in Taiwan, so like more than 100 millimeters across Taiwan, spots in eastern China too. But in eastern China, might be from those storms. But in case it gets close, be careful. Show like more than 100 millimeters. But here shows like This is Tropical Storm Francisco. The worst of the rainfall might be over this island, like Daito. So please be careful. And the European has most of the rain on the north and eastern side of it. So shows across Amami, Naha, Tokunoshima, more areas there heavier. So be careful Thursday, Friday, those storms continue. So here shows more than 200 meters in that island there. Daito. Please be careful. And somewhere near Naha, eventually is 60 meters and more storms in the southern islands of Japan. Be careful the gusty winds with this as well. Stay safe. Shows more spots of southern Japan. Japan itself is mild, it just shows like some 1 to like 24 millimeters, a few spots. Tokyo is very little, but further in the southern areas shows more storms. So stay safe. There's still those fronts across northern China into North Korea, especially most of the rains mainly in China. So be careful, some flooding from those storm systems. And there are two more storm systems to watch. Not tropical, but important. So there's one over northern Kazakhstan, western Russia, a low pressure system, some storms there. Another one further in eastern Russia, like even 200 millimeters on the European, a few spots might scrape northern Mongolia and shows more spots further in eastern Russia, some storms and some showers in Siberia, a few more rain in eastern Russia, and a few storms. So be aware, especially be careful this low pressure system across like eastern Russia. And I'm thinking this cold front might be what's causing this high rainfall totals in China. Be careful, some severe storms in this other system in Kazakhstan, western Russia. So be aware. Shows like here, the European especially, there'll be more storms there by this weekend across Kazakhstan, Russia, but this system in Eastern Russia continues. So stay safe those storms because most of the storms now are further into Eastern Europe and Western Russia, and later they'll go further into Kazakhstan. So be aware. And here the Middle East is very hot and dry. Just a few storms in the Caucasus with some hail, but nothing too crazy. And Dubai had a heat index of 60 degrees Celsius one of these days. Like, that's no joke with the humidity and everything. So please stay safe. The heat and spots in Western Iran into Iraq, so 48 degrees, Jordan, some 30s to low 40s, southern Turkey and Syria, spots there in Iran, so in nearly 47 degrees, those valleys, southwestern Pakistan, spots in Afghanistan. So please stay safe across Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, like 38 to 43 degrees, and southern Kazakhstan, southwestern Russia. So please be careful. This is Wednesday today. Shows Thursday tomorrow in there in Iraq. Let's see where the maximum temperatures are here. So shows like even to 50 degrees spot western and 49. Please stay safe, stay hydrated. That's some scorching heat, but there it's known as dry heat, so there's barely any humidity there. So, but it's still very dangerous. Please be safe. Please stay safe. So there's the dry heat there and the wet heat across the Persian Gulf because the humidity is so like there's some 44 degrees. In Doha shows England through Saudi Arabia to like 47 degrees. More spots near to 48. Saudi Arabia and Oman. So please stay safe. Thursday, Friday into Saturday, slightly better in a few spots, but still to 47 degrees United Arab Emirates, and still like nearly to 50 degrees in Iraq, Western Iran, nearly like 51 degrees on the European in a single spot there. So this might be just very extremely dangerous. Please stay cool. Have some ways of cooling if you don't have air conditioning, but please stay safe and drink a lot of water. So please be careful. There's the wet bulb temperature, the Persian Gulf, and like if you are inside the Persian Gulf, it's near like lethal, like more than 32 wet bulb temperature. But if you are in Dubai, some 31, slightly better, but still very dangerous. Like the threshold of is 35, the like lethal threshold. So 31 is slightly close to 35, but it's way better. So be careful because the combination of the heat and humidity from the Persian Gulf might make it very dangerous to get relief from the heat. So please stay safe, especially like some 30, nearly to 29 in Doha. So please be careful. 29 is still kind of fine, but it's already risky. Already has a risk because if like there's a lot of humidity, your body can't cool down through sweat like it normally does. And if this is up, if this wearable temperature is above 35, you can like you can die in 6 hours if you don't get cool enough. So 29 is already risky. Be careful, especially in Dubai and those areas. So that was Saturday, Sunday close to 30 in Dubai, and this fluctuates a lot. But does show like Friday in Abu Dhabi close to 31, so stay safe, and especially in this island there, please be careful and stay safe in this heat. Please stay safe. It's very warm across China, hot in a few spots, and across Western China too, spots Kazakhstan. So it's mild across Central Eastern Russia, but still some spots Northern Russia slightly colder. But it's milder, especially like Northwestern Russia, and a new trend into next week. So stay safe in those areas, especially these tropical systems coming, the heavy rain spots in Southeast Asia. So stay safe.